start with the first topic today. And the first topic that I want to talk about today is talking about a more recent piece of movie news that I did miss out on. Obviously, discussing it came about, 2-3 days ago now. And that is talking about the first trailer for Venom, Let There Be Carnage. The sequel to the original Venom film, which came out in 2018. It was directed by Ruben Fleischer. A film I have fairly mixed opinions on. I don't think I've discussed Venom on this podcast before. I like the film for what it is. I think it's funny in some parts. I think it could have probably been a bit darker and a bit more edgy, and I think that probably would have helped the tone a little bit more. But I like it. The story's not that great. The villain isn't that great. But the one good thing I really enjoyed about that film was the relationship between Eddie and Venom. Even without all the Spider-Man connection, which, I'm sad we didn't get, I'm still over the moon happy with what we ended up getting, especially with the relationship between Venom and Eddie Brock. So, it seems like in this trailer, going off the trailer alone, it seems like this film is carrying on the same similar tone that the original one did. Obviously, this is now directed by a different director. Like I said, the first film is directed by Ruben Fleischer. This film is directed by Andy Serkis, who obviously is most known for playing Gollum and King Kong, Caesar in the Planet of the Apes films. But he's also been directing recently. He directed the Netflix adaptation of Jungle Book, which I actually really, really enjoy. I don't think it's as good as the Disney one, but I do actually really like it. I like how it's so drastically different in tone to the Disney version. It's a nice kind of alternative to that version. Just depends on what you guys prefer. But I really like that. So I'm excited to see what he can do with Venom, especially, obviously, we have to talk about Carnage. Right, we have to talk about Carnage. This is a villain that people have been wanting for so long. And I'm one of those people. I love the character of Carnage. I really feel like he could be the kind of Marvel's answer to the Joker as far as his personality, the character traits, right? He's a serial killer, has like a kind of a metamorphosis in a way, changes him and then becomes even more twisted than he already was. A very, very interesting character. I'm interested to see how Woody Harrelson plays this character. From what we got at the end of the first film, it looked a bit cheesy and a bit hokey, and the hair looked ridiculous. And I'm glad they've changed the hair. That's one thing I'm very, very happy about, that they actually changed the hair for this film. So I'm happy about that. But I like what they do in this trailer. I like the first kind of 30 seconds of the trailer where they reintroduce Venom and Eddie's relationship. They have this kind of buddy cop kind of relationship with each other. It's really funny, like the way Venom interacts with the people around him. It's very fun, and I like the way they interact with each other. Like I said, that was my favourite aspect of the first film, and I like how that's being carried over to this film. I think this trailer perfectly sets up the tone that we're going to get. This film is going to be, I think, in a similar vein to the first film, in the fact that it's going to be a bit dark. It's going to be a bit edgy, but I think it'll also have the lightness. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a 15 rating or an R rating if you're in America. I don't know if this film's going to go for that R rating. I mean, people have been asking for it. The original film kind of hinted towards being an R rating, but it never really went there. Will this film go there? I don't really think you can do Carnage properly without going there with Carnage. Like, you can't do a PG version of Carnage. You just can't. Whether they do... I just hiccup there. Whether they do it more like implied, like an implied version like what they did with the Joker in The Dark Knight, where you don't really ever see him kill anyone or do these vicious things, but it's kind of implied. Whether they do that, potentially that could happen. I just think to do Carnage properly, you need to be a little bit more on that edgy side. You need a bit more violence. You need it to be slightly darker. So that'll be interesting. Obviously, we'll get more information about this film as more trailers come. Obviously, this film's still a long, long way away. I mean, when's this film due? I think this film is still due out this year, unless it was being pushed back. No, it's due September this year. So it's still a while away. You know, it's about, 3-4 months away now. So there's still a bit of time left until we get this film. I'm very excited to see what Andy Serkis does with this. I'm glad Tom Hardy's come back. Woody Harrelson, I'm interested to see how he plays the character of Cletus Cassidy. How will he do as Carnage? I'm excited. I mean, when I was a kid, I always thought Jim Carrey would be like the obvious choice, but I feel like it's a bit too obvious in that sense. I mean, that one not make any sense. But I feel like it would have been a bit too on the nose. It would have just been Jim Carrey doing like a crazy Jim Carrey. So I'm glad. I think Woody Harrelson probably will bring a little bit more reserve to the character of Carnage. But I still think he'll be very much teetering on the edge of going insane. And then obviously when the film progresses, I think we'll definitely see like crazy Carnage. So I'm excited to see that, guys. Let me know what you think of this trailer. Do you like the trailer for Venom Let There Be Carnage? What do you think this film will end up being like when it is released? Do you think it's going to be good? Do you think it'll be better than the first one? Do you think it'll be worse than the first one? I mean, you guys let me know in the comment section down below if you're watching this on YouTube. Let me know. How do you think this film's going to turn out, guys? I think it's going to be better than the first one. I think it's going to be good, but hey, that's just my opinion. But I do like what I'm seeing so far, and this trailer definitely builds.